Friday in the Park of Leadership.
Thank you. The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have any comments from the audience? Corrections to the agenda or consent calendar. I will move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion and a second. The motion passes unanimously. And we have a presentation to Mr. Hopper.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a meeting with the team, board members, staff, pleasure to be here this afternoon. It's always a pleasure to come up the hill. My name is AD-HOC. I've been the director of IT for a number of cities, for City Center, Dana, and Monrovia, and the past president for RESET. This afternoon, I get the pleasure of representing RESET and State Board. The Municipal Information Systems Association of California is a statewide organization of information technology professionals in more than 400 cities and special districts. The association promotes peer-to-peer communication among municipal as professionals, offers personal and staff development and enrichment. RESET serves as a advisory body for lead California students with representatives on the lead committees, government technology, other conferences. RESET provides a number of functions at the state level: statewide conference, an active listener, information library, co-op technical classes that are generally no cost to our members, and the excellence in IT practices that we're here for this afternoon. We established the program over 20 years ago, I know, because I was there, I helped build it. And the South Tahoe Public Utility District, under the direction of Chris Young, is being recognized this afternoon as an agency that excels in creative, efficient uses of resources in the local government. The award signifies that the agency has exceeded local government standards in the area of strategic planning and budget, purchasing, operations, customer satisfaction, index, project management, training, disaster preparation and recovery, policies and procedures, and GIS. So it's quite a mouthful. The process is just as important as the award, though. As part of the program, the applicant receives an evaluation program where it can improve. A panel of 3 city IS directors give the award based on an extensive 100-question audit of the IT organization, and the questions not yes, no, but prove it. So you have to submit all the documents that go with it. So it's a great tool to look at how to do it from an outside perspective. The award program is updated every year to meet and incorporate new standards and best practices, so applicants are held to the highest standards. It's especially tough for small organizations given the fewer resources that we all have, and we have to meet all the ever-changing requirements, regulations, and just best practices that we all find. 2 levels of award: the Achievement and Tougher Excellence Award. So for those familiar with CAPR, now called the ACFR, the award you see at the mall, our program is very similar to the technology field, but of course ours is tougher. You betcha. On behalf of the Municipal Information Systems Association of California, it's my distinct pleasure to present the South Tahoe Public Utility District with the RESET Award for Excellence in Information Technology Practices, which is the higher level award. So congratulations, they earned it.
You may rise. Why don't you guys come and stand on the ramp, and you can come up to the door and we'll take a quick picture.
Typical IT people, they all try to get out of the picture.
Yeah. We don't need a picture today, right? That's not enough. Perfect.
And you guys can't see, this is a secret handshake.
Once again, I mean, what I was going to say about our IT department and Chris's leadership is just second to none, and we're so lucky to have him. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mr. Conference.
You bet.
And thank you, Department.
Hold on, John.
Okay, that brings us to 7A. Julie, is that you? Yes.
All right, the work is being completed as we speak out at Black Creek. With the freezing water, they had a little bit of a struggle getting the megabytes removed, some of that out, without causing damage. So, it's taking a little bit longer than I'd hoped, but, it should be done today. There'll be a little bit of remaining restoration work to do, but one of the suggestions that we've had is, to satisfy Lahontan's restoration requirements, that we work with the Forest Service, to incorporate, any additional restoration measures into, the Forest Service, Black Creek, kind of larger, project that they've got at about 30% design stage. So, plenty of opportunity for us to work with them on that. Any questions?
Julie, if we, do that and go with the Forest Service and fill in on it, is it just throwing in the equivalent money, or is it the equivalent area, or, you know, how do you?
Yeah, I think that there'll be some discussion about what the measures are that Lahontan is expecting to see as restoration, related to the work that we did, and how that is either being, covered by the work that the Forest Service is doing, or can be incorporated into the work that they're doing. And, you know, we're already participating in the Forest Service project because of the existing utilities that we have out in that area, and the potential conflicts of our utilities and their kind of larger grand scheme. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that's going to turn into, but.
Do you expect the cost to be higher for us, or lower?
I think that the position is very to say for sure, on the restoration element of that. Yeah. Any others? I'm sorry. All right, if there's, nothing else, I'll read the question. All right. Pursuant to public contract code section 22050C, I'm asking you to terminate the emergency action to complete temporary measures and construction of the Tahoe Creek Sewer Pipeline Project to prevent the collapse of the district's Baldwin Beach Sewer Pipeline crossing into Tahoe Creek.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And the motion passes unanimously. Julie, just going to stick around.
Just for a minute, I will also call Trevor up to give us a bit of an update of what's been going on out at PURVEYOR in response to that emergency.
Actually have pictures of Black Creek. And I think the restoration number is like 5,000 square feet, so that'll probably just transfer between the projects for mitigation for the loss installed. Trevor, senior engineer, here to report on the DVR emergency. This is in response to the August flood events where we had debris flows. The most recent update is that we were able to secure a large motor grader for restoring roads and excavating ditches to restore ditches several miles worth. And a few of our folks on staff from underground sewer and bus crew are experienced running motor graders for sewer removal and prior jobs at other contractors. So we've got 3 fellows that are familiar with running these graders. They're incredibly complex. We've got 2 joysticks to get in there. It looks like you're flying an airplane. I probably have stuff to run on the teams here. But, director stuff now. But, so that's the latest update. We did, get held up by the snow event for close to a week, which is painful when you're mentioning this thing for 20 days at a time. But it is running right now, so that's good. They're out there using it. I think they're also finding other locations to use it, reestablish some of these roads deteriorated over the years, so that's great. So that's the latest update. The other update that's good news is, working with the Synia, our grants department, going back to the Tamarack fire, we were really operating under a November deadline for a number of activities that need to be completed. We contacted the state regarding extension and said that, no, that was never a real deadline. Just let us know what you've got. So we're reevaluating that, working and hiring a forester into another fields reduction project. So while we had shelved that, we're looking at getting that forester going, and to identify hazard trees, and to put together a timber harvest plan, and then to contract getting that material removed, and hopefully have that reversed. So working closely with Cindy on that, that'll be a work in progress over the winter response on January fire, separate from the flood event. Any questions on the flood event and the ongoing emergency? We are continuing to use exemptions or exceptions to our purchasing guidelines for hiring contractors, renting electricity equipment like this motor grader. Motor grader is a little bit over $20,000, but if you look at it, that's only a few days of contractor costs. So we are saving money by doing this work control.
Yeah, I just want to add, thanks to Trevor and Chris and for getting our crews to work together for the lowest cost solution for the district.
Super local.
So with that, I'm asking to continue the emergency action to repair the Diamond Valley Ranch facilities per resolution number 3230-22.
So moved. Motion and a second. And that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Ryan.
Good afternoon. I have a couple ordinances for you today. They all kind of pertain to monthly billing and the upcoming transition that we have planned for January. So the first one for item 7C pertains to adjusting our administrative code to transition from billing some of our service charges in arrears and some in advance to billing all of our charges in arrears. So this will bring us into line with industry best practice, including other public agency utilities. Essentially, the way that we bill right now and the way that we have always billed, we bill quarterly for water and sewer charges. The flat and base charges are billed in advance at the start of each quarter, and the consumption charges for metered customers are billed in arrears. So this has created confusion with the customers because the bill states a certain service period, and it's not necessarily in line with all of the charges. It's kind of unusual compared to what they're used to seeing from other utilities as well. So this will kind of bring us in line with, as we transition from quarterly to monthly billing, which also brings us in line with kind of the industry practice. This will align our billing practices with the way that other utilities are billed, so customers will get a bill. Essentially, the impact for them during the transition is that they will not receive a bill in January. They will receive a bill February 1st, and the service period will be January 1st through January 31st. It will be for the prior month. All the billing will be in arrears. And during the transition, we've talked about making this change in the past just to kind of make things less confusing for the customers. But with quarterly billing, it's more complicated. You would essentially have to skip a quarter of billing. So when we're making this transition from quarterly to monthly, this presents an optimal time to make the switch. And we think that it will be beneficial to the customers, be less confusing, and make our billing practices much more standard. Any questions about this one? Okay, would you like me to read the first section? Okay, staff is requesting that the board adopt ordinance number 583-22, an ordinance of the South Tahoe Public Utility District, amending administrative code sections 6.1.2A and 6.1.3A regarding billing of water service charges and billing of sewer service charges.
So moved. Okay, we have a motion and a second. And that motion passes unanimously.
Okay. We'll move on to item 7D. This one is even more straightforward. This is updating the administrative code to remove two references to quarterly billing periods. So throughout the entire administrative code, I was actually surprised we only referenced quarterly billing periods twice in two prior ordinances. One of them is the one that allows us to suspend billing for vacant lots that came into effect after the Angora fire, and the other one is the one that provides rate relief for excess sewer units that have been removed from a property. So essentially the only change that we made here was removing the reference to quarterly billing or a quarterly billing period and replaced it with a more generic billing period. So essentially it says that the rate relief will be for the current billing period. If the lot is vacant, it'll be until it's not vacant. Excess sewer units will be given relief for the current billing period. So these were just minor changes, again, to bring the code into line with our new billing practices. Does the board have any questions about this one? Okay. Staff is requesting that the board adopt ordinance number 584-22, an ordinance of the South Tahoe Public Utility District amending Administrative Code Section 3.1.55C and 4.8.3 to remove references to quarterly service charge billing.
I'll move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Yeah, that motion passes unanimously.
Okay, and that brings us to the third one, item 7E. So this is an ordinance to amend the ordinance that was adopted at the April 21st, 2022 board meeting. So this was after we had HDR do a new rate study for us that gave us a new set of recommended water and sewer capacity charges. So the study is based on standard practices and they're in line with the cost, the impact that a new customer would have on the district system. And so there are kind of two parts to this one. The first one is that there was just a typo in the last ordinance. So one of the rates in the rate table was incorrect. So this corrects that to bring it in line with what was actually recommended at the rate study. And then the second part of this amendment, there was a periodic adjustment section in the previous ordinance at the April board meeting that says that the rates, the capacity fees will be adjusted annually on July 1st in accordance with the previous year's Engineering News Record Construction Cost Index, which is an industry standard index for construction costs. And so what we're trying to do with this ordinance is move that automatic adjustment date from July 1st to January 1st of each year. So the reason for this is that in the past, any time we've adjusted capacity fees, that adjustment has always taken effect on January 1st because it's not during the middle of the building season. So that's what our customers have been used to in the past. This year, we actually did adjust them on July 1st, and it was confusing for a lot of people. It's right in the middle of our busiest plan review season, and so what we had to do was give customers who were submitting plans essentially two rates. One, if they submitted them before a certain date in June, and a new rate that would take effect the day after. And so this basically just makes it, we still do our annual adjustments that were recommended as part of the rate study as being industry best practice. We're still going to use the ENR index, but the rate increases or changes will happen on January 1st rather than July 1st. This will minimize the impact to our customers.
Did you receive any public input on this?
We did not, we received complaints from customers who were submitting plans, and because it was something different than we'd always done, since we had always adjusted these fees on January 1st, it was standard practice in customer service for us to tell customers that if they ever changed, it would take effect on January 1st. So a lot of the people paying connection fees are contractors who have been building in Tahoe for a long time. So we got feedback from the customers that they weren't happy about the change in the middle of the summer, especially an increase that was kind of, if they weren't ready to get their plans in, they were suffering the consequences of basically not anticipating that. But we didn't formally solicit input from the customers before we brought the ordinance.
Remember the adjustment that we did last July was a complete change of the methodology. It wasn't just a cost index adjustment. So hopefully it'll be a little smoother going forward.
It should be, yeah, they recommend that we do a full rate study every 5 years and then do annual increases based on the cost index. Okay. I'll read the action. Staff requests that the board adopt ordinance number 585-22, an ordinance of the South Tahoe Public Utility District setting water capacity charges and sewer connection fees and amending Administrative Code Section 3.1.49E 4.5.10, and appendix fee schedule section 4.5.7.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Okay, I see the motion passes unanimously. Okay, that brings us to standing and AD-HOC committees and liaison reports.
Well, we had, operations committee meeting on Monday, got a good update on, everything that's going on with the, water resource systems. Really nothing, striking to note here, just kind of give us a preview of what we'll be going over tonight.
That was a little while, but we're going to push that out till spring, so we can actually get that online. Like I said, that some of the reactive orders are starting to drop back down, and that's pretty consistent with historic trends in terms of fewer water during the winter time. And we did talk a little bit about the keys and that there might be some potential funding for supporting cleaning components related to that.
And at the first board meeting in December, we're planning to bring a detailed report on keys consolidation effort to the full board. One more thing on the reactive work orders. Coming around for water today, and it sounds like today they're working on the last week that they have on the board, so. That's enough.
Okay, board member reports, I'll start. I started my day at the district and I'm ending my day in the district. We had PCC this morning, and it was, here in the boardroom, very well attended. I think Liz introduced 5 new hires.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was a good, everybody was engaged, lots of input. It was a good meeting. Anybody else?
I was at the City of South Tahoe City Council meeting last night. They did 2 presentations, I think it was items 13 and 14 on their agenda last night, that were related to kind of their sustainability and energy and renewable energy goals. And so the city's moving, rather aggressively and looking at various different options, both in terms of working with the CPUC to see what can be done as it relates to tariff structure, potentially working with, state legislatures, our state senators, really exciting things going on. So I think that just kind of partners with, what we're looking to do here with the district and a good kind of local partnership with things going on. So it seemed, really exciting. We hope, our efforts and their efforts are going in tandem, which is always strength in numbers. So really exciting stuff. And of course, we're going to be thinking about batteries. So nothing really to report on that, but I'm just going to throw that in the air. And that's it.
Okay. DORADO Water Agency Purveyor.
Yeah, we had a board meeting on the 9th, nothing huge there. The bigger event was the countywide plenary, which was on the 16th, and so several of us from the district went. And it was a half-day event, a little bit odd from my point of view. The subject matter was kind of all over the place, and so I'm not exactly sure what they accomplished. Maybe the executive director was looking to fill in a few question marks, a couple boxes. I don't know, but yeah, it was a combination of we had the head of the State Water Resources Control Board be the keynote speaker, and he's a water rights guy, so water rights. We did get a big question in about grants, shall we ask them? That was probably the highlight of the day. So, then John gave a very good presentation on Tahoe and architects. They kind of tag team in North Tahoe and how each agency addressed that. There was a good write-up, also that companion piece that went with that. I thought those were very good, but then we went from there into kind of a planning study, working landscapes for community resilience. It was a little bit odd. for a water conference. And then, post-chemical fire recovery for community resilience. And so anyway, that was that. I'll have more discussions with, executive director and the other directors about this at our next board meeting, for sure.
Yeah, we made some connections, yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Made some connections and kind of fortified some existing relationships, so I thought that was good, and we'll continue to tell our story about water line, our suppression, and our need for more federal and state funding.
Yeah, and on that, there was a gentleman there that I guess he's from Folsom Lake College, Community College, and he's gonna start up a water wastewater operators training program in Colorado County. I can't remember if it was Placerville, yeah, and he was looking for partnerships in this, and we raised our hands, said we need people going into this, we'll be partnering with you. So Shelley is in touch, and I thought that was a good connection.
Was that a connection on biomass as well? So we'll look into that.
Very good.
Well, I will say this too, so I got one other thing. I mentioned biomass so many times. There was an effort, the TRP governing board was discussing biomass yesterday. South Tahoe Refuse had brought forward, really the request was to be able to have the ability to submit a future application for a project, government at work. But long story short, it was widely supported, the districts had supported it, and I wasn't in the room, but from what I was told, it was widely supported by both the governing board and those in attendance. So, it's got to be moving forward.
Very good.
Okay, so who's next? Yeah, report, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get too eager.
Welcome aboard. I'm Chris Cole, IT Manager. So I'm just going to give a little bit of context to the Excellence in IT Practices Award. Our application this year was 750 pages. That's just from our little water wastewater district. So it is quite enough for every year. Well, it's been a while since the last staff report from my team. There's enough high-level strategic planning items occurring that John Paul and I thought it was time for another update. You guys all look at it. I'm really excited here. Since COVID in 2020, the workforce has drastically changed, forcing both employees and employers to adopt more technology than ever to help succeed in this new hybrid work environment. The district is not immune to this change either. Coupled with the lessons learned from the Tamarack and Delaware fires in 2021, the district is relying more on IT than ever before. As you can imagine, these recent events have had a very large impact on the way the district uses technology. It also is changing the way the district views the IT department, viewing IT as more of an innovation and solution department rather than the cost center or stereotypical break-fix department. Today, the district is now has more connectivity to remote assets, people, and places than ever before. Tablets are in the hands of most field crews, and with the wireless hardware now on their vehicles, technology enables them to complete work orders in the field, have quick access to up-to-date GIS information, and send emails and more, all from their mobile workstations. Not to mention the countless other connected devices like sensors, cameras, and other hardware IT is now monitoring and managing across our service area. While we have more connectivity today than we've ever had in the field, staff is still reporting that connectivity is still a challenge. Cellular breakdowns or limited cell coverage force IT to design and deliver custom, more complex solutions that work both online when that cellular connection is available and offline. IT is working closely with district staff and our strategic partners like LaserFish to deploy these complex custom solutions. These deployments allow crews to be out of cell connectivity completely disconnected, yet still have access to sync data and gather data, bringing it back to support the district's many asset management programs. Not only is connectivity to our local digital resources a challenge for our field staff, but voice over radio communication is also a challenge. The district radio system that supports crews and provides quick communications to both operations and customer service staff in the field is quickly becoming antiquated and difficult to support. IT partnered with the electrical department, who has historically supported the radio network, and are planning to do some minor modernization upgrades to the radio system this year. However, after discussing this plan with my connections at the city of South Lake Tahoe, the project has now shifted gears. What started as a simple question of, what radios does the city use so we can share frequencies in the event of an emergency and be more compatible, has quickly become about discussion with the city's new modern multi-million-dollar radio infrastructure. And the feasibility to partner with the city and integrate the district's radio frequency into the city's new infrastructure. IT and electricians have been working with the city's project manager, Battalion Fire Chief John Manning, and the city's radio contractor to assess what this option could look like. During our discussions, we have received nothing but positive feedback from the city. The city's radio contractor is currently developing a proposal to integrate our radio frequency with the city's new infrastructure and install all the radios where we currently have them. Integrating radio systems with the city offers many benefits, including greater cohesion with the city and seamless access to their emergency responders when it's necessary. But it also provides district crews greater coverage, voice quality, and mobility than the current system can provide, and possibly allow us to expand down to Alpine County, providing that staff a much-needed safety line to staff up here in the basin. Looking towards the future, IT is on track to finish our information technology strategic plan by the end of the year. This holistic plan will assist district staff in setting priorities on technology investments for the next 5 years out. Projects like improving data connectivity in the district service area, looking for additional partnership opportunities in collaboration with the city, and adding more tools for our field crews like enabling them to access SCADA in the field, are just a few projects we're looking at in the future. With all this going on, the same IT department is still supporting, maintaining, upgrading, migrating, and fixing issues seen in the district's complex technology infrastructure, enterprise softwares, and data collection solutions. IT is also still ramping up our focus on cybersecurity initiatives and integration with our partners and monitor our technology and networks to help ensure a secure environment. With that, I'd like to take any comments or answer any questions.
Chris? Yeah. Would you mind just talking a little bit about our security infrastructure and disaster recovery programs?
I'll talk generally about it.
In specific detail.
Currently we are partnered with a cybersecurity program that has 24/7 live feed access into our network traffic. So anytime we're not going through our firewalls, but then also laterally throughout the network and the communications between all of the clients. Beyond that, we also are backing up all of our data within the plant here, at least every hour. If not, some of the more critical databases, it's every 15 minutes. And then the new disaster recovery appliance backup and disaster recovery appliance that we have allows us to do a instant migration down to Diamond Valley Ranch, and then also up to the cloud. So that allows us to possibly operate out of Diamond Valley Ranch if that is necessary, but also allows us to bring that device back up to Tahoe if we want to continue to operate the full office here. So, good enough?
Do you test those systems?
We do. Within the IT strategic plan, it's going to be a more formal process, but I can tell you just last week we had our file server, which is 8 terabytes in size, so just raw data, crash on us, and we're going to do that. And so within 30 seconds, we're back to the line. 8 terabytes of data, so it's amazing to see.
Be surprised how many people or companies do not. Yes. I slow it up and say it's going to work great. You don't know until it actually happens.
Right, that doesn't work.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah, the solution remember is they made some pretty bold claims, like this instant recovery feature, and so I made sure to get put it to the test when I got it in place. Yeah.
Will you be coming forward to the board in the near future, talking about the next 5 years and your plans about, or?
Yeah, it's in the public scope of the consultant to present that to his people.
I just want to make a couple comments. I went to the RESET conference early October. One of the things that caught on that was the idea to do kind of a day without scale. So SCADA went down, make sure we can still operate our water and sewer systems and treatment plant. So that's something we can talk about during a tabletop or a real field exercise on it. And then I really just wanted to thank you for kind of bringing IT into the rest of the district as a problem solver and looking for ways to help us do our work better. And really to, I'm so excited about SCADA reaching out to all of our district crews on their tablets so they can do their work in the field and really connecting our crews with the system data, with program analytics to make better decisions faster, without driving all around town just to collect data.
Yes, we have election updates. Congratulations to Director Jones, who's the next one for re-election. We also have a new board member, Nick Haven, and these are all three for full 4-year terms, which will commence on December 2nd and expire on December 4th, 2026. Our new board members will take their oath on December 1st, December 1st board meeting. Their terms will officially begin on December 2nd. So it goes all the way through December 1st for the current board and the new board members on the 2nd, and then first voting for our new board member will be December 15th. So congratulations. Don't miss the next meeting. You're going to take your oath. If for some reason you're not here, just give us a see. We'll do it privately. But this is your opportunity to do it in public and invite all your friends and family for photo opportunities.
So just want to say thanks, like I mentioned before, always really enjoy being a member of this team. I came really excited about renewable energy and some other things. It really wanted me to run again. It was just the excellence that's exhibited every day from my team. It crosses all parts. And with that level of excellence, creativity, ideas, solution, we're at the forefront of everything, so it's just a really exciting, time we're in, given all the challenges, and, really look forward to being with you guys for 4 years. So I really appreciate it.
I'm really glad you both ran and won. You're both great board members to work with and have great perspectives, and I appreciated working with you too. So I was glad that you're on the ballot and I got to vote for you. So good job.
Anything to say?
No, just, again, I kind of echo Nick's comments in that it's actually really rewarding working with this organization, and I think we're up for some good things, and looking forward to rolling up the sleeves and keeping on and doing good things. But, yeah.
Good.
Melanie, I'm connected to White Show. Oh, perfect. Good afternoon. I wanted to provide an update on our fire hydrant, Adopt a Hydrant campaign. So last winter there was interest from the board in moving forward in the Adopt a Hydrant campaign, and it's something that is talked about. All fire districts around the basin do it slightly different. Fire and water districts work together slightly different depending on where you are. And that's a little challenging, right? We have, for our sewer customers, 3 separate fire districts in just our service area, and there's others around the basin. So I reached out to the Fire Pit, which is the public information team of all the firefighters around the lake, as well as Tahoe water suppliers, and said, hey, why don't we work on something together so that we can take a regional approach to an Adopt a Hydrant campaign. So we have other examples of regional programs, and they all funnel through Take Care. So Take Care is a group of agencies around the basin. Tahoe Fund helps move it forward, but it's everyone. And I just wanted to show you a few of the other Take Care campaigns, because I bet you've seen them around town. So there's ones that focus on, they set up sled corrals, and, if you break it, you take it to prevent broken sleds being left around. Your dog, your duty being number one, at picking up number two. And then, of course, drink Tahoe tap, straight from the source, all that jazz. And then respectfully using trails. So, most of the agencies that are a part of Take Care are public agencies, and we can have stagnant messaging sometimes. So, all the Take Care messaging, we've worked with the same consultant to try to break out of our government mold to have quirky sayings, catchy graphics, whatnot. So with this, when I took this to Take Care, they said, yes, this can be a new Take Care campaign. Then it was coming up with the $5,000 to pay the consultant to help do the design work, the catchphrases, whatnot. So, again, worked with the fire districts and the water districts to come up with the funding. 5 water districts, 2 fire districts, and Rayleigh, who's a very big part of selling Take Care water bottles and help promoting that drink Tahoe tap messaging, all chipped in. And I wanted to show you the end result. So we've launched the Adopt a Hydrant campaign. There's all sorts of different imagery that folks can use. When it snows, before it snows, after it snows. And so this winter, you'll be seeing these in newspapers, online. We're working with Take Care right now to modify them for online ads. What's great about having this regional messaging is that every water district can help if they want to. They can put it in their papers, their messaging. Same with fire districts. These graphics are available for all to use. Let me jump ahead. There's so many cute, snarky little things. And this is like one person knows. So, very excited about this program. You should be seeing it in the coming days, coming weeks. And if you go to the Take Care website, because every fire district has slightly different codes, some say you have to clear 3 feet, some say you have to clear 6 feet. You can click through to Living with Fire to find your local fire district to find out exactly more about that program. Some fire districts will get funding to hand out shovels or whatnot. So this is what we agreed to as a collective, is that instead of tracking, we had talked at one point about people filling out a form to say, I've adopted this hydrant, and tracking which hydrant. Since there are thousands of hydrants around the basin from public and private water districts served by a suite of fire districts, we decided that a regional campaign is the best approach for now. So just wanted to share that with you. You'll see it out and about in the community in the coming weeks. Hopefully it's a very snowy winter, so this is a big message to get out. Any questions, comments?
No, I like the Take Care campaign, and admittedly, I'm not a fan of quirky things like that, so I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
Generally, I find those messaging annoying, and I actually enjoy this one slightly, so.
I like slightly.
No, I mean, that's big.
Third gallery table. And I gotta work with your husband on deciding on our fire hydrant.
It's true. When we, Shane, I brought you up when we were talking to the designer about who is the audience. Who is the audience that we're targeting for these campaigns? I was like, my husband and Shane Rountree. There are people in our community that snowblow and shovel their driveways obsessively, and the street in front of the neighbors. I was like, they're the ones that will So I hope these messages.
Yeah, I just know that there's certain, like, I think we talked about this before, there's some fire hydrants that are a little bit below grade, but you actually have to dig the dirt in some cases. And it's a lot.
And we're in the process of, raising them up.
Yeah.
We looked at every hydrant in the last year, and so those work orders will be coming up next year on Privy List, and I've already seen some actually being raised up, this fall.
That's great. I just kudos to you, and that's a pretty quick turnaround in terms of, we got stuff from last year, and it's already, things are happening. So good.
We've had this completed for a few months, but it didn't seem relevant to present this to you when it was sunny and warm. So now that there's no one around, you'll start seeing that out.
Now, okay. Thank you. I'll start with a staffing update, as usual, and in customer service, what's going on, we have 2 new employees that started in the last week, I think. Diana Cervantes, who most recently worked for El Dorado County and brings over 10 years of customer service experience to the district. And then also Hillary Hannes, also coming from El Dorado County, where she worked as a child support specialist. So, great add to this team, this brand new team in customer service. Actually, everyone from Ryan to Hillary now has been in the new position for less than 6 months. So, all on sort of probation, that's 6 months probation.
Yeah, we have a picture of all of us.
Great energy down there now. Good job, Ryan. And then for plant operator, we interviewed on 10/25, October 25th. Made an offer, that was accepted. That person is now in pre-employment, and I think probably starting in the next 3 to 4 weeks. For administrative assistant clerk of the board, we interviewed 6 on Tuesday, and a really strong turnout. We're making an offer today to a highly skilled person locally, and really hope that offer is accepted. No, me too. Been trucking for 5 or 6 months now. Yeah. And so we have 2 open recruitments right now. One in customer service inspector, closing on November 20th, and another one for electrical tech, which closes on December 11th. So that's the latest on recruitments. I did want to kind of as a sidebar to get some more comments on this. Is our current moving and relocation allowance. Currently, it's at 2% of pay. Is that right? So we've had some discussions about this in the past. We have some thoughts about, we talked about the cost of moving to Tahoe and changing positions. So we're looking at possibly increasing that to 5 or even 10%. Seeing what others are doing, we want to make sure, if we're providing that much, that they stay here long enough so they don't get that money and leave before the year's up, that sort of thing. Dave, I think it's been your concern, and you've seen some examples of that. But I just wonder if the board had any concerns or perspectives for increasing this moving allowance from 2% to something like 5 or even 10%. And would you like to see this come back to the board for deliberation in the future?
I would say, I think, Dave brought up some great comments when we discussed this in the past. Ultimately, I'm supportive of, developing systems that ensure you can get high quality employees and people interested in the position. In terms of the actual percentage, I honestly don't know what the correct number would be. I think what would be is if other districts, that are relatively comparable, what have they done that has been successful or not successful? And, curious where that space lies. But, generally, we're supportive of the process. We just don't know exactly how it should be calibrated, with us, bit more information.
Yeah, I've never seen that on percentage used before, and I guess you need to come up with something, but,
Maybe just a dollar amount, but
I think a dollar amount is a little bit easier to, at least for me to understand. I trust you, $500 for a moving van, but really it's an individual thing. If you recruited somebody on the East Coast, it's going to cost them a lot of money to get here. If you recruit somebody from Carson Valley, not so much. Right. So I wonder if it's just a negotiation that the board can authorize a negotiation up to a ceiling or something like that.
That makes sense.
You work with them on an individual
Yeah,
basis.
like that idea.
I think that makes sense to me too.
Okay.
I mean, you could even like put a little structure in it, and I don't go before, but like, if you're moving, you know, west of Colorado, you know, like you could create 3 zones, and so that way you have some consistency to avoid, any either real or apparent kind of concerns of being arbitrary and who got what. You know what I mean? So I think you put little structure to it, I think that is a good point, as relates to kind of the needed cost.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll look for kind of some models out there, and I'll bring them back to you. Next item is emergency response and recovery plan. We're in the process of updating this plan. It was last updated in 2018, and after the Culver fire incident, which was the first time actually that we used this plan, we found out that there were some things we definitely needed to improve on, and after that, after last fall, we pulled our staff together and kind of had a staff level debrief and lessons learned, and actually came up with 53 different areas that we thought we could improve on. So some of those will be included in the new plan, and some in updated emergency action plans, and others will be addressed in departmental procedures. So I expect this plan to be updated by the end of the year, and actually this update was listed in the 2022 board goals, item 5E. So taking another one of those off, and I really want to say thanks to Jeff Lee for really moving this stuff along.
John, is this, should preparation be in that as well? Is it just response kind of implies in the minute, but preparation is in advance?
Yeah, if there's, the preparation items, I think would be more in the action plans, and the emergency response and recovery plan is just kind of a standard NIMS and SIMS National Emergency Management System procedures. But the details of what we do ahead of time and during and after are those details will be in those action plans. And any report?
Okay, we see the notices of past and future meetings, and we're going to go into closed session.
Yeah, I will be missing the meeting on the first. Saturday I'll be in Maui.
Great. Session with nothing to report. This meeting is adjourned.
Good one.